Hello and welcome to the round table on Sam's on Wrestling. I am your host, very Howard Finkel.
Very Howard Finkel.
I'm now going to describe the Royal Rumble in extraordinary detail. You need to have 2 minutes. Now it's 90 seconds. Okay, it's a minute because it's 1995. And then Vince Russo books it, so now you have to run into the ring, then run out, and it creates a seeding. Welcome to Sam's on Wrestling. I am your host, Sam, and I am joined here by Baby Sam.
Hello there.
Hello, it's just a lovely little chat. Having a lovely discussion here today on our round table.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I do like having a lovely chat with you.
I like it as well.
Sometimes you know wrestling.
Sometimes.
And I really enjoy
Every now and then.
chats,
We just catch it on camera sometimes when I come up with a clever thing.
Not yet. Still not yet.
Still looking
Month
for it.
down, still waiting.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us. Would you like to like, share, and subscribe for more of this wonderful intro work that we're doing here? Maybe ring the bell and you'll get a little notification that will tell you that we're doing a wonderful bit of intro work. But we're just doing, there is no kind of set parameters for today. We're just having a little chat. We're doing the age-old question. The old question a long time ago was, what made WWE? Was it Hulk Hogan? Or was it Vince McMahon? Is it the person creating the show, or is it the star? So we're going to look at that, but from the modern era, okay? We're essentially I'm effectively going WrestleMania 38 to WrestleMania 40. WWE's hottest period probably since the Attitude Era, or at least early Ruthless Aggression era anyway. Who has made it what it is? Is it Triple H booking it and becoming the main booker? Or is it Roman Reigns and the Bloodline? So that's the conversation we are doing today. So first of all, let's just talk about kind of why we think both. So Triple H is probably the most obvious one to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it had been coming for a while, but we'd all wanted it for a long time with NXT, with seeing what he did. And it was.
And NXT for about 4 years was the best wrestling product in the world.
Yeah.
Even better than some of the Japanese stuff. They just had the best indie workers doing whatever they wanted.
But it was always logical and consistent booking, which was refreshing to WWE fans in the 2010s.
I can't believe we're talking about the most basic things of just being consistent and just staying long term and not forgetting things. And how do you do that?
We were ranting about this for so long, and I think it's nice that we've become
we've started a channel just as it's got positive, but at the same time, it means we're a positive channel now because both wrestling companies are actually doing very well technically.
Yeah.
The thing is though, Vince McMahon was so bad for a long time that I don't think we realised how bad it actually had become until we got it being good. Because you sat there and go, is actually WWE good? Or has it just been so bad that it's now good? Because I actually believe it's excellent now. I just think there's so much. And people can't get their head around long-term storytelling because they've been programmed by Vince probably for about 30 years now, really, probably since Hogan's lots kind of finished in the 90s, that things are going to be like this and move along and fast or forgotten or dropped and whatever. Only like 2 or 3 people got consistent booking. Like I remember they said that like they'd go, what's John Cena doing this week? What's John Cena doing this week? And they go, what about anyone else? And they might talk about like Randy. And then that's it. And you're like, do the whole card. When you did the Attitude Era, everyone was doing something. That was Vince Russo's biggest positive, actually, is he tried to make everybody do something. And I think Triple H doesn't do that, but he tries to make every part of the show matter. Yeah. You know, every match needs to feel something, and not all of them obviously do, but, you know, he tries to make them a qualifying, or he tries to give them a backstage segment beforehand, or something just beforehand.
Yeah.
And how simple is that?
Yeah, and what he did was he started to introduce those things, probably about mid-2022, was it? He came to SummerSlam?
Just before Vince then came roaring back again.
Yeah, we had that period, and then he really did.
And he ruined the WrestleMania that happened, that Triple H was building towards.
Yeah. So we kind of had him building it, and it was lovely and refreshing to see, but from there he's just slowly built it, and it's becoming now like sensational because we've got the rewards of all that work, and there's actual trust in creative again, which is alien.
Something you don't like happens, and you're going, wait, am I not? And my example I've given, I'm trying to tell people when it happened at the time, why isn't Chad Gable beating Gunther? Why? Why? He should be the one to beat Gunther, not Sami Zayn. He had his moment last year. Well, apparently you're not allowed to have a second moment, apparently. No. And I was there going, wait. And all you have to do is wait, actually, a couple of weeks. And Gable becomes arguably one of the best heels on the roster. And you're like, That's now a main event level heel. Not IC. He's now a main event level heel, to me anyway. And that comes through booking, it comes through storytelling. Gable wasn't even on WrestleMania.
No.
He built Sami Zayn up to beat.
But that's part of his character.
And that worked. Yeah, he trained Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn then wins. And Gable then can't beat Sami Zayn after not being able to beat God. It's so simple. And that's the thing is about Triple H making something very, very, very simple. It is simple. But we didn't have simple. Vince made it so complicated, ripping up scripts beforehand. He doesn't think that people couldn't see that. We could see that. And you could tell Triple H that everyone says, like, it just seems really relaxed. Everyone knows what they're doing. Yeah. They've got a plan. They stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. If it doesn't work, you change it. I.e. Rock and Cody. I know that was something else, a different booking. But Triple H must have been there going, we're going Cody.
Well, you know what it is as well? Vince, for years and years, frankly, just didn't treat wrestling fans with any respect.
He hates wrestling fans.
And Triple H did.
Yeah.
And suddenly they felt heard, but it wasn't like you just give in to every single thing that fans want, because that's impossible.
I would argue he doesn't at all.
I agree.
Yeah.
But he has an idea. So when you have an idea that makes sense and stay the course on a long-term idea, fans can go with that. Yeah. It's entertainment. Not everyone's going to like everything. That's fine. But he has massively changed this, and he is incredibly responsible for the Renaissance era. But
what's the first thing before you do get into Roman? Because I'm going to say, what's the first thing Triple H did? So Vince gets ousted for the first time.
Yeah.
Just before SummerSlam 2022.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that happened? Io Sky gets called up. Dakota Kai gets rehired. She wasn't in the company. She'd been fired in the long cull of COVID. And they start a brand new group. Here you go. Here's 2 new stars. I am not built. Everyone thought, we'll get past SummerSlam and then we'll crack on. Nope. Here you go. I'm doing it. Triple H didn't miss a beat. He didn't go, is Vince going to come back? He went, I've got the pencil. Here's what I'm doing. And that showed balls to actually just go, no, it's gone now. We are doing this. And that damage control built all the way to WrestleMania 40 with Bayley and Io Sky, made Io Sky a much more bigger star. Is she the biggest star? No, but she's now known and is a member of the roster that could now fit easily into a title match at all times. He built up Rhea Ripley to being a monster, babyface and heel all at the same time. He built Cody correctly. He's given Seth a platform. He's given Drew a microphone.
Yeah.
He's used CM Punk correctly. It's so many stars and old stars he has just used perfectly. He's reintroduced things such as swearing and blood, but in the correct way. If you're a PG product, you know you're allowed to swear. You know you're allowed to show blood. That's fine, right? I know blood is a bit iffy for investors, but he used it sparingly, and it worked perfectly for Cody at Clash, and it worked perfectly for Cody when he was getting beaten up by The Rock. Those little elements the fans can appreciate. However, can you do great shows if you don't have that star that everyone wants to watch? I look at AEW, for example, and every pay-per-view they do is an absolute banger. Do they have someone that you would quantify as a megastar? They've got stars, they've got main event talent, but main event talent is not a megastar because they do not come around often. If you literally went, name megastars, you go, well, Hogan. Then we didn't have anyone because I was Brett as a main eventer. He was the main guy, but he's not over. You got Shawn Michaels. No, not a megastar, just a very big main eventer. Undertaker. No, main eventer. Stone Cold, Rock, John Cena. That's kind of, part of the course. And then you've got Ric Flair technically as well, and so because he's a megastar as well. These are the megastars. The AEW are missing that person. They probably could have had it in Punk. They could have built Punk as the megastar. He's nearly like that level, but I put him in the level of a Brett, a Shawn, that type of thing. Big main eventer that everyone knows. But he did transcend other companies, UFC and all that lot. He did do a couple of movies. They weren't great. Roman Reigns is now on that level.
Oh, absolutely.
And that Bloodline story, which is a lot of him, a lot of Paul Heyman, and a lot of Triple H, obviously, has what made WWE watchable so that Triple H, with all the stuff he's doing, got the viewership it deserved.
Yeah. And if you look at the boom eras of the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, what you end up having it's not usually one thing. You have a perfect storm of a few things coming together.
Bottle lightning.
Yeah, and I think that's what this is. You had the Bloodline thing that happened during Vince's time.
It's Vince's star.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turning Roman heel. I think that's his idea and Paul's idea. But...
Yeah, I think Paul Heyman I think this is going to be mainly about Triple H and Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Paul is the third guy there who has absolutely, without Paul Heyman, that Bloodline storyline does not have the success that it does. I'm convinced of that.
No.
So he deserves unbelievable amounts of credit for what he has done with that storyline. I think it is the mixture of that Bloodline storyline, keeping people interested, showing the audience a different way of doing things, because again, that was a very long-term, slow...
Not just that, let's talk about that quickly before you go on to that. No one has done that style of thing where I am a godfather. People have kind of done it briefly. I'd given it attempted, but this kind of godfather, I have people around me who do it for me. The fact that it's family as well, and it was done with respect. This is about respect. I earn money for us to live and breathe. I am the head of the... That's a clever way of looking at a heel, because they believe they are God. That's why the music works so well. And then to have Paul Heyman, an obvious person who we think is a heel, who goes with every bad person, essentially cowering down to, Roman, while at the same time explaining how he is amazing, is genius. But they added elements to this long-term story. They brought in an outsider and made them an honorary family member. We talk about Roman Reigns with the Bloodline. Now, you can't do Roman Reigns without the Sami Zayn, but you can't do the Sami Zayn without Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn coming in, but they added elements. It wasn't just Roman Reigns. It was, he has a thing with Jay at the same time. Layers. When was the last time you had a story that had multiple layers? Maybe Vince got to 2 layers sometimes. Multiple layered storyline. Even in Hulk and Stone Cold and Rock's era, they didn't have that. It was very A to B. I'm fighting you, Hogan, Andre. I want the title. I want this. Stone Cold. I hate you, Vince. Vince doesn't want you as champion because you're a redneck. A to B. This is different.
And there's almost an idea with Vince of just not expecting wrestling fans to go with that. It's like wrestling fans love that kind of stuff, the detail. And what it did was, especially in the early days when Roman was pretty much full time, it made those October, November periods actually that we were talking about another very exciting and very interesting, because there's always something going on. It was like a soap opera, but it was like watching The Sopranos almost.
It really was, yeah.
In wrestling.
Or The Godfather, that's how I always imagined it. I always imagined Roman as the Godfather.
Yeah.
But the genius of the storyline with Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn was a really annoying heel. He wasn't over at all. He'd kind of gone a bit quiet, really. He was doing the whole conspiracy gimmick. Yeah. And then him just trying to get involved. And I don't know if someone just saw it and went, do that again, because he was trying to just be like, I'm here for you guys. Don't worry, I got you. I'm the locker room leader, so I'm with you. That's great as well. And then him just being involved, but not taking him in, just take him in and then beat him up. He was there a while, and then they didn't trust him, and then they do the court. Everyone you do hear a court, you go, ugh. But then in the court, what did they do? They showed past footage from months ago. Yeah. From both sides, positive and negative. And you watch that going, that would never happen. They would show what happened 3 weeks ago, not from 4 months ago.
But it all made sense, and every single character's perspective made sense. You might not agree with their side of it, but it makes sense, and they've got a clear goal and a clear aim, and the dynamics were just so interesting, especially with Roman just mainly being silent, but his presence was there, and everyone was trying to persuade him, and you've got Paul Heyman not trusting Zayn, and it all built to the Rumble, when eventually Zayn did turn on them, not because he didn't want to be loyal, but because they went too far and he realised what the group was. They
were testing his loyalty, knowing he didn't have that loyalty almost. Yeah. And he's not like that whole storyline had other things. Like when you get a reaction from a crowd for a line, Roman is just quiet there. Sammy's there going, you should do this, and goes, I don't care what the head of the table thinks. And Roman just... And the crowd go, oh, because Roman has built that aura of, you don't talk against the head of... And then who quells that down? Sami Zayn goes, he's not feeling very juicy. It's genius. It's so good. And then you get Cody. And the problem when you have such an over heel or such an over baby face is the minute that you have to have them lose, there's a lot of pressure. No one took over Cena. They tried it with Edge and they tried it with Orton. Orton wasn't good enough to be a main event level talent, to be across the world is what we're talking about. He's obviously a main eventer. And Edge, they just moved to the other roster really. And they kind of had Batista, but Batista left. So they were like, we haven't got anyone. So they're looking for Roman, and Cody fell on their laps. They did. They weren't sitting there going, right, we're going to get Cody because he's a big star right now. Cody left AEW and they went, okay. And you sat there because it's still Vince going, he won't do it.
He'll get to a level, might win a world title, but it's different winning a world title.
You saw what Vince did with WCW guys. He doesn't like them. Didn't do it with TNA guys when they did come over.
Styles, minor exception, but I was expecting him to have a Styles.
Minor exception. He thought his pop was luck, and he had him lose at Mania. He didn't believe in him until he watched him work. So that's actually Styles had to prove it. So actually, I would disagree with you there. But Cody, they went, nope, you're a main event, and they did this wonderful bit of booking with Cody, and they didn't just put him straight with Roman. They put him in that WrestleMania, and everyone was sat there at WrestleMania, and then he lost. Solo Sikoa, another. And that was the other thing that was wrong with the thing. Triple H, and this is when we start getting into who does what. Triple H loves a distraction finish. He loves someone getting involved and costing them finish. Too much with the Bloodline. But then we had a year-long storyline, and then The Rock gets added in to the story. The Rock is such a big person that he had to play second fiddle, even though he wasn't really second fiddle, but he had to play second fiddle to Roman. He couldn't be in the main event because Roman and Cody is the main event. And where do you sit on the fence then? Is WWE's Renaissance, because there is no answer, because it is both, right? But who do you think, and remember one is booking the other and all that jazz, but who do you think is the reason that WWE has hit that moment? In the same way, who tried to work out with Hulk and Vince? Could Vince have done WrestleMania 1 if he didn't have Hogan? Could he have done it? And vice versa. Could Hulk Hogan been the star without having Vince's booking and like the platform? Could WWE have gotten to the level if they didn't have Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Solo, Paul Heyman, and Sami Zayn? Or was that a byproduct of Triple H booking it? So what do you think? So before Sam has his thing, I'll let him have a couple of seconds there.
Oh, no.
What do you think? What do you think? And who do you think really is the main cause of this Renaissance era? Is it the Bloodline bringing in all the new people, it being the main attraction, the main thing, the main storyline that everyone wanted to watch, and then they got to watch all the other cool stuff that Triple H is doing? Or is it Triple H doing all this cool stuff with this amazing that's happening as well, that everyone's watching? It wasn't just Bloodline, it was like, oh, this is cool too. What do you think? Where do you fall? Is it Triple H or Roman Reigns is the cause for this Renaissance era? Where are you siding?
So, of course, it's all of them. But if I was to go with one, I will say Triple H, and here's why. I think you can be given all the resources in the world, all the organic moments, storylines. Let's face it, Vince in the 2010s was given plenty of stuff. Punk happened in 2011. Yes, he got to a certain level, but did he get to that level? No. And if someone else was in charge, I'm sure he was very capable of getting to that level of stardom with the right booking. Now, Roman and the Bloodline happened obviously before Triple H, and he came in whilst that was going on. Fell into his lap. A lot of things fell into his lap, but he used them correctly. And I think if Vince was still around and they were about to do Roman and Cody, and then The Rock comes back, I don't think Cody...
He goes with Rock.
Yep, he doesn't do Cody.
Yeah.
And it's decisions like that, and there are some points where there are critical moments and decisions where you need to make the right call to really take the program and the company to that level of popularity. Say, if Austin doesn't beat Shawn Michaels, you know what I mean? You have to make the right call. So, yes, a lot of resources fell into his lap, like Roman, like Cody. You have the perfect storm, but you've got to navigate that storm and book it. So I'm saying Triple H.
I'm saying the Bloodline.
Okay.
I think it transcended WWE. It went past their circle. And I know the booking helped and Triple H was there doing things, but there was a lot of things that they were doing themselves and all that stuff. But you can give them the best booking. You have to have the star to be able to deliver it to the perfect extent. Because, technically Triple H has booked other things and Vince booked other things and he still didn't get that stone cold reaction ever again type thing with a star. It transcended that little thing and it made so many other oscillating things that it kept going, so much so that it's still going. It won't go because it's added in new stars since. Solo got to take over and he brought in Jacob Fatu and, the Tongas and all that lot, and they're amazing. I think with Triple H's booking, it got to another level, even more than it would have done with Vince. But I think that level that everyone was watching for that got to lead it to watching the other stuff that Triple H was doing. And I think by having that megastar, it re-gave WWE a platform for Triple H to build on top. In the same way CM Punk gave them the platform in 2011, because he transcended the circle, and then they didn't build on it. So I think Roman gave him the platform and Triple H built in the same way that Punk gave him the platform and Vince didn't. But I think it's really interesting because I think this is fascinating. I really do. And I want to know what you think. I really do. I'm really interested. What in the comments, please let us know. Where do you side on this Renaissance era? I'm not calling it the Paul Levesque era. The fans get to decide what it's called. And at the moment, I feel a Renaissance era sounds correct to me.
Absolutely.
So, Triple H, Bloodline, Roman Reigns, what do you think? Is it something else? Is it just simply Vince leaving and then just having free reign to do whatever they want? What do you think? Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We want to hear from you. And we will see you next time on the round table. See, circle. Everything's a circle.
Not everything. Doors aren't circles, usually. I've ruined it, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.